Now that we have our walls installed for our tiny house project, it's time to add some exterior siding materials and paint the inside of the house. And to do that, we're going to create some different textures. So I'm going to get started first by just creating a texture. I'm going to use just like a tan construction paint all through the inside of my house. And then I'm going to paint a couple of accent walls. I might paint the bedroom a different color. But to get started, I'm just going to paint everything with a tan color. So all I'm going to do is go into my resource manager, create a new resource, and it's going to be a RenderWorks texture. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this as just paint walls tan. I'll put all my paint colors. I'll start them all out with the word paint so they all show up together in alphabetical order in my resources. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose just a plain color. I'm going to edit that color. When I do that, I have an option over here. Just like if I walked into a paint store, they would have a rack full of paint chips that we can look at. I'm going to choose those paint chips, and here they are. These are actual Benjamin Moore colors that I could go order Benjamin Moore paints. You can use any of these different paint colors in here that you like. I'm going to go with just this tan color right here. I'm going to use. So I'm going to double click that, click OK, OK. And you can see I've created that tan color right now. So it's just paint walls tan. I'll click OK. And now I'm going to try and put that on the inside of this wall and the inside of this wall. Now when I go selected that wall in the object info palette, it gave me some choices up here for these tabs. I'm going to choose render, and I'm going to choose by object. And when I do that, what it lets me do is just select either the right side, the left side, or the overall, which is the center of the wall. I'm going to try the right side. Depends on which way you drew your walls, but I'm going to try the right side. I'm going to choose my textures, and I'm going to choose the paint walls tan right here that I just created. And you can see that that wall changed to the tan color. I'll do the same thing on these other walls. That was just select the wall in the render tab, by component, or I'm sorry, by object, the right side, tan, and you can see that that started painting those walls a tan color. Now there also are some options if we go into our RenderWorks textures and we search for paints. There are some options in there as well that we can use. So here are a lot of different paint colors that are default paint colors. So I might try this. I'm going to try this paint brown color on one of the walls. So that must be on the other side. If we spun that around, we would see it. I'm just going to put it on both sides. There we go. So that's how we can add paint colors to these walls. Now, if I wanted this room to just be painted a separate color, I'm going to have to split this wall and make it into two different walls if I wanted to have some different textures on there. Let's try the outside. I'm going to select this wall. And again, I'm going to choose now the left side. And in here, I could search all different types of exterior finish materials. There's all kinds of stuccos. So there's a tan stucco put on there. Now some of these, just because we put them on and they say it over here, we still might need to edit them. To make that look like a real stucco, I'd increase the grain size on that. Let's try a brick. There's a traditional brick running bond pattern. That looks pretty good on there too. Now there's a lot of stone textures. Some will work well. Some would look horrible. If we did the stone slabs, they typically don't work well. But there are some, like a fieldstone. This fieldstone probably would look good, but this slab would look bad. I'm going to try this fieldstone right now. And that looks pretty nice. There's wood siding, vinyl siding, all different types of siding materials. Remember, you need to have 2 different siding materials for this project. That's how we'll get started adding paint to the inside and siding materials to the outside for this project.